you guys are going?
Good, good.
Oh,
Good.
thanks
How
for
are
your,
you?
yeah, not bad. Thanks for your time, man. I really appreciate it. I'm pretty excited to
Yeah.
talk to you about this new album because there seems to be a bit of a buzz going around with the Halo effect. I don't know if you guys are aware, like everyone's sort of like really catching on to you guys. So you guys, I don't know if you're surprised by this or you kind of expected this, or how are you guys feeling about it?
Excited, I gotta say. I mean, I think we've learned over the years never to expect anything, but rather to appreciate whatever comes to you. So we're very excited and very happy to hear that there's a buzz.
Yeah, it's I mean, I had a preview of the album just the other day, and it's fantastic. And obviously, I've already heard the singles that you
Thank
guys have
you.
been putting out, and I mean, it's I guess the initial sort of idea, I guess, is you wanted to kind of bring back the sort of the old Gothenburg sound, right? I mean, what was sort of what
That
sort of inspired you guys to sort of come together and create this band?
that's the second time I hear this. I don't really know where that comes from because it's not really true.
Okay.
We just wanted to write music together, and as it happens, we've been playing a lot of music that's considered to be part of the Gothenburg sound, and everything is in our hands, so to speak, and Michael's voice.
Mm.
There wasn't really a plan to revive the Gothenburg sound at all, but just get together, write music, and we kind of knew, what was going to come out of it.
Mm.
But no, it was just making music with people that we love, our friends, good friends.
I guess this was also created during the pandemic, right? I mean, were you thinking about it before that whole thing happened, or?
Yeah, it started before the pandemic broke out,
Mm.
and then the pandemic happened, and that was it made the whole process a little bit less stressful. We knew that we will have a lot of time to create this album, and we also knew that there won't be a rush to release this album because there were a lot of bands before us in line with already finished albums that was waiting to get released,
Mm.
So we knew that we had a lot of time to make this album perfect, and so the pandemic, I wouldn't say it was good, but it was kind of a good timing when it comes to the recording.
Yeah, I mean, I guess a lot of people were kind of getting back into that creative mind space, I guess, and sort of, getting into creating music and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's obviously a good time to do it. But do you think if there was no pandemic, do you think things would have been different for the band, or do you think that you always had the sort of the idea of doing what you ended up doing with this new album?
I think that one of the reasons we were able to do this was because of the pandemic. I mean, the pandemic was horrible all over, and we tried to do something positive of it. But I mean, in reality, especially Michael would have been on tour otherwise with Dark Tranquility, and I guess we would have done other stuff as well. We run a brewery together, and I'm sure we would have been out on the road with that more. But so we took advantage of the time we actually got to get together with our friends and actually start this band. So this was like, I guess, an idea that grew in Niclas's head. So I'm sure it would have happened eventually otherwise as well. But we kind of got 2 years, 2 years off to just work on music together, and I'm not sure when that would actually be able to happen otherwise.
Yeah, I guess it's a bit of a blessing in disguise, I guess.
Yeah.
And what about the band name, the Halo Effect? Because obviously it refers to a few things, I guess. But in your sort of opinion and the idea behind the band, how does the Halo Effect, the term Halo Effect, apply to what the band does?
Well, Michael came up with it, and it's kind of, I don't know if you're familiar with what a halo effect is, but like shortly described, is kind of the impression you get if you see somebody that you kind of have some sort of emotion towards, or feeling that this person is probably really good at their job, or if it's even somebody is really good at their job, or somebody's really attractive, or the other way around. When you see them doing something else and you look at them, you get, just by looking at them, you get some sort of hopefully positive emotion and feeling. That's a halo effect. Very I dumb it down a little bit because that's the best way I understand it. And he told us all about this. You know, when people see us, they might think that we will sound in a great way, and they will get a halo effect as well. But then he added, and it's a great Rush song. So that's why.
Yeah. No, it's a cool concept, and like I said, you know, the music is I mean, first and foremost, it's always going to be about the music. And I'm just wondering, do you were you taking any influences at all from anything as far as like the creative aspect, you know, and other music that you were listening to, or did you try to keep this as pure and organic as possible for you guys?
I don't think when you go into the writing process that you really think about what inspires you. I mean, you write songs when it happens, and then whatever inspires you. You don't really have a plan, or this should sound this or that. I mean, the songs that comes out is how we sound, or how we sounded at that moment, more or less.
Okay. And is that something that you guys personally have always sort of, you know, come up with music and things like that? Do you always, I mean, at this stage, because you guys have been doing this for quite a while, obviously, with various projects, do you guys personally each have like a certain formula for like creating, you know, music and ideas and things like that, or?
It differs from time to time. I mean, it's this particular record, there was, everybody brought their ideas to the table. And I guess the musical mastermind, Niclas, helped or put everything together into songs. But everybody was part of the creative process. And I think that that's kind of, we inspired each other while doing it. You know, Niclas could have written a riff and Daniel would come up with a melody or an arrangement to that, or Mikael did, or I did, or Jesper. I guess the inspiration came from within. Some songs were ideas laying around that were written for something completely different, but once we started playing it, it sounded like the Halo effect. So I mean, it's not, for me at least, it's not like I sit and listen to a certain type of music and I want to create something similar. I can get a vibe in my head and I try to get it down, but I'm not a really, you know, great guitar riff player. So then I'd rather show it to Niclas and he can play it properly, stuff like that. So I mean, it's inspiration comes from everywhere and from inside and from each other, but no particular bands or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it kind of goes back to that first initial statement about, and I guess you could sort of wonder or maybe ask, you know, where it sort of came from, because obviously, like, people have been talking about, you know, you guys sort of trying to recreate that Gothenburg sound, I guess, and like you were saying before, that wasn't really the case at all. But do you think that a lot of people kind of are misinterpreting what you guys are initially doing with this band at all, or?
No, I mean, it's inevitable. I mean, we all come from the scene, and we play metal music, so that's inevitable. But as we said, it's nothing we planned. We started this band because we love playing music, and we want to have this first band feeling again. The first band, when you formed your first band, that feeling, you know, you had no pressure, you had no. Okay, people might have expectations on us, but we don't have expectations really. We do this for the fun of it, and that we enjoy hanging out with each other, playing music. So there's no like master plan behind it at all.
I mean, for the couple of singles that you've put out so far, I mean, from my end, it's been nothing but positive. I mean, everyone that I know has been sort of raving on about the stuff. But have you been getting much feedback as far as like what people were expecting and things like that, as far as what they've heard so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's coming all the time, and we get this. I mean, being away from the music scene for a few years, stuff evolves, and one thing that's new to me is the reaction videos that people post on YouTube, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah,
that says it all. Instead of somebody saying just awesome, which is great too, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's just seeing somebody listening to your music and appreciating it and commenting it. That's amazing. I love that. But yeah, I got to say, mostly very, very positive. I don't think I've read any, you know, bad reviews or bad comments. Sometimes somebody said, you know, I wish there was a guitar solo here or a few more melodies there, but that's always going to happen.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned the reaction videos, because that's obviously a big sort of trending thing at the moment. And I've never asked anyone this, but obviously, you know, as musicians yourself, what are your thoughts on people reacting to music? Because I guess in some ways it's sort of like become the new review, I guess, to some degree. What are your thoughts on what's going on as far as YouTube reaction videos and things like that?
I think it's cool. It's different, but I think that's how it works today. I'm kind of old-fashioned. I know my kids spend a lot of time on YouTube, and I mean, today you get like instant feedback straight away. Back in the days when we started, we had to wait to get a printed magazine, you know, to see a review, like weeks after the release. Now you can get it instantly, which is good in a way. It could be bad also, but and I'm not really digging into it too much. I've seen a few, and it's as Peter said, it's rewarding, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. And the social media as well. Do you guys sort of hang out and do much interaction at all on social media with the fans and stuff like that at all? Or
On my personal page, I do, especially Instagram. But on the Halo Fact, we haven't done that too much. Because we're five, you know, and it's I guess it's we have this thing called Fan Vault that we are where we do just that. We interact with fans. It's free to sign up and everything, but you can go in there, and we're going to do much more in the future as well. But as far as regular social media goes, we haven't done too much acting on the Halo Effect pages. Okay. Try to direct them to Fan Vault instead.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly an interesting time, I guess, compared to, you know, obviously when you guys were in Flames, you know, and obviously a different sort of time and era and how things work. And I'm just wondering, you know, if like, you know, if you sort of embrace that kind of, you know, the new world, because it's hard to keep up with a lot of things that's going on at the moment. And there's a lot of negatives and positives to both sides, I guess. And just curious as to whether you think it's better now, or do you think it was better back in the day?
A little bit of both, I'd say. Yeah, I think it's faster now. You can interact directly rather than, like Daniel said, reading something and then, you know, that was written months ago. Yeah. But at the same time, I like the written word as well. But I am more of an IRL guy. You know, I like that.
But it's tough, but because you have to stand out in the feed. You know, you have to reach out from the bus. You need to create this content all the time. I hate that word, you know. You have to be there all the time, which takes away a little bit of the musicianship, you know, why we are in a band. Now we always have to come up with new stuff that you have to post, not to disappear in the bus. So it's sometimes it's annoying, and as I said, I'm a little bit too old for that. I'm not used to posting stuff all the time.
Do you think, I mean, obviously you're starting with a new band now, but you've got the advantage of having so many years experience and having all these different bands that you've already been in. But do you think if you had no background at all and you're just starting out, you're just a bunch of young kids, do you think it would be harder now than when you first started out?
Both yes and no, I would say. Yeah. It was probably easy just a few years ago when it was easy to reach out in social media, but now everyone is there, even though you don't have a band. I think it's tough to stand out. There's so much going on. So I think it's getting harder, actually.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. When we started, we sent, like we were tape trading music and demos and stuff like that. That was really old school. Now it's easy to reach out, but there is also, the competition is much harder, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to sort of stand out, I guess. I mean, you're right, it's so saturated now, but and obviously touring as well. I mean, I know you guys have been you're going to be heading out on the road with a bunch of killer bands as well. So I mean, when you guys were first starting out with this idea of the Halo effect, was touring always going to be in the plan, or was it just purely just a musical sort of project?
Touring has been part of the plan, and it is part of the plan, but kind of like same thing what Daniel says about social media. Everybody's everywhere all the time. And we talked about touring smart, so to speak, so that we won't be out all the time. So when we come to certain city, people should go and watch us there, because we might not come back on that record, you know. And that's kind of how the whole touring is thing. We're going to try and do good support slots and try and go to a lot of places, but not as much as we did within Flames.
Yeah.
That was a certain way of touring, and we could come to the same city 4 times a year, you know, sometimes. And I think it kind of got a little bit watered down then. So I'd rather just focus on coming, doing one great show, and then make a new record and come back the next record. So that's kind of how we're talking. Obviously, it won't be like that all the time, but that's what we're aiming for.
Would it be out of the realm of possibility of bringing it down to Australia in the future?
No, not at all. If the right situation occurs, definitely would love to come back to Australia.
Oh yeah, we'd love to. As I said, I know a bunch of people that have been digging the singles that you put out so far. So I think there's a bit of a market down here in Australia waiting for you guys. So but as I said,
I mean, we've been there a few times with the old band, and it's always been amazing. So we'd love to go down there and play.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, man, the new album is absolutely killer, and can't wait to see what everyone else thinks when it finally comes out in August. So look, thanks for your time, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Good luck for the future, and hopefully everything goes well, and we'll see a second album come out as well. So
you will.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.